Server.
There we
Brilliant.
go.
Here we go. Fellas, as I said, um, just as I say that, here's Kane coming in. We have Mark Hughes with us this evening. Mark has very kindly jumped on to give us a shout and give us a dig out with the lads call. And I am just going to read a quick bio. I did send out, you may have seen those two videos and a quick bio about Mark, but I think it's worth reading again just to sort of put some context around it from where he was, where he found himself, and how he treated and how he reacted and how he behaved post all of that. Because I think there is some lessons in there just from a day-to-day point of view, in terms of resilience, courage, realization, those sort of things. When you're staring something down the track that has that Mark has been dealing with the last, I guess, 10 years now. But I'll very quickly read it out. Okay, so Mark Hughes, a former professional rugby league player from Curry, which is that a small town here in New South Wales, Mark?
Yeah, it's about 45 minutes from Newcastle, little small town. Yeah.
Okay. You played 161 games for Newcastle Knights, including two grand final wins in 97 and 2001. And that puts you into elite athlete field, Mark. You know that, of course, when you win two of them, you're in that group of people that very, very few people on the planet get to do. So well done for that.
Yeah.
In 2013, you were diagnosed with high-grade brain cancer. You have had 33 radiation sessions and 6 months of chemotherapy followed by surgery. From the ward bed, you knew something had to be done to make a difference and turned that diagnosis into a positive thing. And I've no idea how you did it, but you've done very well. You formed the Mark Hughes Foundation with you and your wife, Kira Lee, to heighten awareness and raise funds to promote the research into the disease. Since the launch of MHF in 2014, you've raised over $30 million through different campaigns, including National MHF Beanie for Brain Cancer Awareness. So anybody who's a rugby league aficionado here. Okay, so Kane, welcome Kane. You may have seen the MHF fund doing the rounds on the telly with Channel 9 and the Rugby League, so they have supported it brilliantly well. So well done, Mark. And to date, you have sold over 1 million beanies to raise funds. In 2022, a significant milestone was reached with the announcement of a $25 million brain cancer research centre at the University of Newcastle, which is very close to Mark and I here geographically, which marks a real advancement in the fight against brain cancer within Australia. MHF has contributed nationally towards fellowships, PhD projects, travel grants, and the implementation of a brain cancer care coordinators in rural and regional health districts in New South Wales. So with all that being said, welcome, Mark Hughes. What a phenomenal intro and a phenomenal bio, Mark. I'll let you start and do your thing, and we will then pick it up, and there'll be questions, I'm sure, on the way through. So welcome, pal, and good luck to you.
Thanks, Mick. Great to chat, and hi to everyone. I appreciate you taking some time to hear my story. I'm just going to tell you my story open and honestly. No university degrees. I'm not that smart or clever. I think knowledge is very important in life and we need that, but also imagination gets us a long way. And I think I've lived a life of imagination and I still do right now. And I think it's been a really big thing for me. Going to talk about resilience and the importance of that. The reactions, the way we react and how we react. Is it positive? Is it negative? Just going to talk about fighting back because in life, we don't know what's around the corner and at times we've got to fight back. So there's some of the key things that I'll have a chat about. So we'll work through that. And then I look forward to having a bit of a question and chat after I talk. But I want to start the talk from 2013. I was 36 years of age at the time. Fighting fit, was probably 5 years out of a professional rugby league career, or a little bit more than that. But yeah, I was fit. 36, had 3 children under 10. and I found myself at John Hospital, which is a very big hospital here in Newcastle. I was waiting for surgery. It was different to sporting injuries and all that stuff that I'd been to hospital before. I was at G2, which is a neurology ward. And I had a bit of time to wait. There was a bit of a hold up with my surgery and that. So I had about 24 hours at hospital with my wife, just really doing nothing. I remember walking around a lot, the wards, and they were colder than normal, seemed quieter. There was a lot of older people. They were just clinging on to life. It was a terrible place to be. They had either had head trauma or they've had big brain tumors removed. You know, you'd hear the beep, beep, just fighting for life. And I was in there. I was the junior of the ward, but I was forming connections and bonds and talking to different people that were clinging to life. And but in that time, Kira Lee and I, my wife, we were talking about starting a foundation for this thing. And looking back on it, I think it's a really important thing that it's easy to, in business or family or personal goals, it's very easy to set these goals when things are going great and have all these big meetings. But it's when the chips are down and things aren't going great that we need to dig deep, and we still need to aim forward and still be positive and strong. And I'm really grateful that I took that action at that time. I think I was in denial. Got surgery. A week later, me and Kira Lee walked into our doctor's surgery. The doctor sat me down. He stared me and Kira Lee in the face, and it was like, "I'm sorry, Mark. You've got high-grade brain cancer." It was all that was said. "Sorry, Mark, you've got high-grade brain cancer." Now, I've been up against some tough opposition in my time, but this is something that is undefeated. There's no cure for brain cancer. Brain cancer kills more people 40 under than any other disease. It kills more children 10 and under. So there I was, 36, 3 children under 10, thought I had this whole life ahead of me, and I was delivered this catastrophic news. Yeah, boy. So yeah, I was in a fight. So I want to just go back, because I think the 36 years leading into that moment, I was in training. And I think sometimes when you'll do the same thing when you become involved in something, then you realize that during your life experiences was helping you to adapt and to handle that situation. And I was in training all my life for this moment. Starting from Curry, which is about 40 minutes from Newcastle, little country town. Just loved my sport, loved cricket, loved rugby league, which I think a lot of us were like that as kids. But from a very young age, I had, like a lot of kids, I had pictures on my walls of professional footballers, because so what I was doing at night, I was staring at them and going to bed. Then when I woke up, I was staring at them. And so I was picturing in my mind from a really young age that I was going to be a rugby league player. And I mentioned about imagination and all that and positive thoughts, and it really does help. And I didn't realize at the time how important that was. And because as a young fella, I just enjoyed my sports, but I was by no means a good player. I'd say a battler would be the right terms for me. And even at school, in primary school, I remember back in my books scribbling a signature, because I was going to need a U-Butte signature when I become this big football player. And I'm pleased to say that I did sign some autographs. I'd get these adoring fans come up to me, and those that know footy will know what I'm saying here, but they will say to me, "Are you in the same team as Andrew Johns?" And when I'd say yes, they'd let me sign all their stuff because I was his mate. That counts, doesn't it? But I'm just trying to say, I was blogging into my mind that I was going to be a footballer, but unfortunately Saturday morning I wasn't showing that on the field. I'll tell you what I did as a teenager really well. Choices. I made good choices, I feel, for my age. And, as adults, we make big, small choices, and they can really change your life. And we choose from when we get up, how we're going to act, what we're going to do in the morning. These little choices become big things in your life. And I could have taken some pretty poor choices, but I took some good ones. So it kept me in the ball game, I guess. The Newcastle Knights was our local club. I was 16, 17, 18. I was nowhere near. I was nowhere near that dream. My mates were, but I wasn't. And I think in life, our journeys, we sometimes are watching what other people are doing. And especially now on social media and all that, it's worse. But I think we need to focus on our journey and just go at our pace. And thankfully I did that. And I don't believe that everything happens for a reason anymore. I've just seen way too much devastation with what I'm dealing with now to say there's no good reason for that. But what I will say, I think you can change your luck through hard work, through dedication, through commitment, through self-belief. You can change your luck. And I was 18 years old playing second grade park rugby league for my beloved Curry Bulldogs at 18. And by the time I was 20, I was down at the Sydney Football Stadium about to play in a grand final for the mighty Newcastle Knights when we were playing Manly, and I was 20, and that's how quick my life changed. And you know, I remember, funny story, the morning of the game in Sydney, I wake up, I go down to the breakfast room. There's just our team in the room. And they're all looking at me, my teammates, and laughing. And at the time, they were my heroes, some of them blokes. I'd watched them for the last 10 years, and I was suddenly part of this. I went in and I wondered why they were laughing, and they passed the newspaper over to me, and I start looking at the newspaper, and it had a big lift out of both teams, and it would have each player and it would have their strengths written down. So it might be Paul Harrigan, who was our captain, you know, ferocious, tough leader, and number 7, Andrew Johns, who was our best player, you know, amazing passing game, and had all these little bits. But on mine, unfortunately, it had Mark Hughes, and it had shoulders like a brown snake, which means I didn't have any shoulders. And that summed me up really, because you know, I had no weight program behind me. I was 87, 86 kilo, trying to take on 110 kilo, 115 kilo men. So that was the start of my grand final day. And but I ran out in front of 40 odd thousand. That was the capacity of the ground. And as history shows that we won right on the bell. So the game was drawn. There's a minute to go. And we score on the bell to win the grand final. First one ever Newcastle taken. Complete euphoria through Newcastle. Pandemonium, you'd call it. And for a 20-year-old to enjoy that and witness that, I just couldn't believe my luck. And my life had changed for the better. And I was living my dream. I think when we're happy, good things happen around us, you know, and I just, for the next 10 years, I was happy. And I said about training and getting ready for what was to come. I was the guy that always put their hand up. I would be at shopping centers, schools, businesses. I was representing our club. I got the Clubman of the Year award about 4 or 5 times. Like, that was me. And I was in the community, and the community was going to pay me back big time down the track. I managed to play, I know it's topical at the moment, State of Origins on Wednesday night. I even managed to play 3 of those games, which I'm very proud of.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was, Mick. So it was amazing for me, coming from my humble beginnings, to get to that point. So I've managed to play 3 games in the Origin, and you know, once again, put my best foot forward. I put my body on the line. They're just things that I always did, and you know, didn't have the toolkit to match a lot of my teammates, but just give it all I had, and that's sort of how we should all tackle life, I guess. So yeah, my rugby league career went really great. I had a great time. I loved my teammates and being around them. And I saw the value in team. We've all got our roles to play in our team or our families, you know, and I think it's important to know your role, and not everyone in a work team environment is going to be the superstar, but we've all got our roles to make an effective team. And one of the good things I always loved about the best teams I played in is we enjoyed each other's success, you know, and a bloke like, I've mentioned him a couple of times, but Andrew Johns used to get every award and get everything. But he was the first to want to congratulate you for the little achievements and the things you did. And I think that creates good culture amongst your team to have that support around each other. And we had a very supportive environment. I had a year over in America, in France, playing in the English Super League. But then I was 30 years of age and out of the rugby league, and I started a business, which was a commercial cleaning and facilities company. So I just put the same principles as I did into my rugby league, the commitment, the consistency, relationships. I did all that and worked really hard because once again, things were going to change pretty soon. But I was working hard for a reason, and made a really successful fist of that. And yeah, that was what I was doing until sort of one day when I was 36, I just had headaches for 2 days. And I just can't tell you, fellas, how fragile life is and how quick it can change at the flick of a finger. Things can really change and escalate. And for me, I went and saw a doctor. He just seemed a bit funny about it. Go and get a scan. Got a scan. He looks at the scan, and all of a sudden there's this avocado-sized tumor. And from that point on, my life had absolutely changed forever. I was rushed to hospital as soon as I could. Had the tumor removed. And I was hopeful of a really low grade diagnosis because I'm always really positive. But the news just seemed to keep getting worse, and I was told not to get grade 3 or 4. So I got a grade 3 with some 4 in it. So yeah, it was just a really tough time. So I went and saw a doctor. I didn't like what he said, the way he wrote me off a little bit, and I felt like he didn't know his subject well enough. And I think when we're in shit and in trouble, guys, we need the best people around us. So I packed my circus up and drove to Sydney, found the best brain cancer person I could find. And they just knew it so much better. And they read my tumor and they started to tell me all these little readings and saying, look, this can be favorable. And it just changed my whole headspace right there and then. It was a really turning point because it gave me hope. I think that's what we want in life, is a bit of hope. I started radiation. I had to do 33 sessions in a row. I'm not allowed to drive. And then I start to get the sportsman mentality of getting back on the paddock. What do I need to do? What can I do to get great results here? And I think these days in life, we need to be great. In business, good's not going to get you anywhere. You need to be great. Whatever you do in life, do it great. So for me, I needed some great results here because it was a pretty tough opposition I was against. So I would do the radiation. Okay, I then would go and do running down at the Oval. Then I'd go do ocean swimming because I felt, well, other people aren't doing this and I need the great results. This might help me. I reviewed my diet. One of the big things I did, and I'll talk a bit more about it later, about Mick and Celine, is that I took Juice Plus. I decided that that was something that was gonna, and I've taken that every day ever since. So I made some changes in this fight because I'm fighting, and when you're fighting, you just got to kick, crawl, and scratch your way to victory, and that's how I've looked at it. So I was up and running in my treatments. I was positive, had good people around me. Chemotherapy for 6 months. Once again, diet, food, train, exercise, just trying to do what I could. Right during this time, the Mark Hughes Foundation was formed with my wife Kiralee and I in Newcastle. We just knew the stats. We knew that no one was helping, and it's like, do you sit on the lounge and just eat popcorn and hope someone's gonna do something here, or do you try and ruffle some feathers and make some change? And when the stakes are so high and that your life's on the line, you do find the energy and you find the drive because there's but my life's on the line here. So that's how we got the inspiration to kick it off. We started it with close family and friends in Newcastle. And the first thing I wanted to do was beanies. I wore beanies because I lost a lot of hair. And I thought beanie and brain cancer would have a really good ring to it. So we decided to get some high schools to wear their favorite beanie to school and drop a $2 coin in a box. And that worked and people loved doing it. Then we started to design our own beanies. The first beanie we ever designed, I designed it, which I designed it as red and blue color, which is the Knights colors, which
Yep.
sold quite well in Newcastle, but no one else really wanted to buy it. So I was barred from beanie design.
Spoiled sports, Mark.
So we decided to design 2 beanies every year. So it's the 2 options. Then the NRL, which is the National Rugby League, and we've got the Auckland Warriors for our New Zealand guys in that competition. They decided to come on board and make a round. So once a year, the players run out onto the field wearing our beanies. Every coach, fans, media, everyone gets behind our charity for this, and it's in 2 weeks' time. And the awareness we get out of that is it's just enormous. So I'm wearing one of our beanies that are about to go on sale. So we've got them around, and you can get them at Lowe's across Australia and IGAs and on the Mark Hughes Foundation website. So they're a big part of my fight back, and they're a big reason why we can raise so much money. And all going well, we hope to raise around $3 million over the next month. But there's cost of living. There's a lot of stuff going on. Another thing that we do is challenge. You need to keep challenging yourself and tackling mountains and striving forward. So 2 of my mates, former teammates, said, let's do a challenge. Let's go to Kokoda over in PNG and let's walk Kokoda. Let's pay our own way and let's raise some money. Let's get our friends, family, sponsors to support us, and let's make a difference. So that happened, and we did that, and it just was so enjoyable to be back in a team environment, surrounded by people that care, and we loved it. And we then went to base camp Mount Everest, climbed there. We then did a big bike ride and trek in Borneo. We then went to Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. We then went to Darwin and did a big bike ride during COVID times. And then we just went back over to base camp Mount Everest and did it again with 20 people or so, which Mick very kindly was a sponsor. So what did I learn? It reminded me of just, you're not watching your clock. You're just moving forward at your pace, step by step. And that's just what the life's about, is just keep moving forward at your speed. Don't worry about anyone else. And it was like, I looked at a river crossing and I stumbled and fell because I was looking too far ahead. And I just think we've got to remember in life just to keep moving forward at our pace. We all go at different paces, but let's go at our pace and let's just keep moving in the right direction. It reminded me of the importance of team and having good people around you, and you can do anything when you're surrounded by the right people. And these challenges have just been epic, and we've raised, I think it's about 3 or 4 million over the years just by doing these challenges. So I do say to you, give yourself a challenge. And it's the journey. The destination is great, but in all these things, and this is life as well. It's the journey. If you enjoy the journey to get to something, goals, things happen around you, and it's often the journey that's better than the actual destination. And for us, it is a great journey to do this type of stuff. Some key learnings for me. First one, purpose. I decided that my purpose is simple in life now. I need to peel it back. It's just to be happy. We get a bit caught up in things, but at the end of the day, we just don't we just want to be happy? So keep it simple and change some choices. If you've got things in your life that are constantly making you unhappy, you need to review them and make some changes and some tough calls. But for me, just try and stick to that purpose of just being happy. I just want to try and be happy. I had to control my thoughts. My thoughts were spiraling out of control. Videos for the kids. I don't want to miss birthday, all this stuff. But it's not good for anyone thinking so negative. You become that person.
Yeah.
So you got to think about what you're thinking about, because if I was negative and kicking stones and that all the time, the charity wouldn't be where it is. People are attracted to positivity and strength, and you've got to do your best to have strong thoughts and positive thoughts. And when I get negative thoughts, all I do, I see them like a going across cloud going across, and I try and sweep them across. And I might just practice a bit of gratitude, because sometimes we forget that, but just be grateful for something in my life, or maybe something, a holiday or family. So I just try and practice gratitude, but I just know that thoughts are important. So just be that positive, strong thoughts person. And I think people will gravitate to you more, and you're more fun to be around. Um, I think I spoke about our choices and our failures. We all have them. We just got to learn from them and bounce back, Failures do happen in life, and I think you come out stronger the other side if you can get through them and work through them. And out of the failing I've had with my body and what happened, I'm a stronger person all around. I'm a more well-rounded person. I've grown so much in my leadership, everything I do, out of this big failure that I had with my health. Um, I think family and friends are pretty obvious, but you need the right ones around you. Look after your family and bring the good friends in. And if there's toxic relationships, you need to just make those changes, because you don't need it in your life. Another big thing I've realized, the power of helping someone. We get caught in this bubble in our own worlds, and we're so busy and all this stuff that sometimes we forget the power of just making a difference and making this world a little bit better. It doesn't have to be anything game changing. It might be putting your neighbour's bin out, saying good day, buying a coffee, little things that just make it just makes a really nice difference for people. So just keep in mind in your busy life to help someone, because you'll get so much more out of it than what the person you're doing it for will. Make today count. I realized I just had to try and do my best each day. And I was thinking too much about, the diagnosis and what's been going on. And that was weighing me down. Then I'm thinking about down the track, and if I'm going to miss things and all this crap. And I'm thinking, well, look, I can't control the past, and I don't want to look too far in the future. So all I can do is wake up tomorrow, do my best tomorrow. It's not always butterflies and rainbows, I get it, but just do my best tomorrow, and then wake up and do it again, rather than just being too concerned about the past or what's in the future. So I think make today count has been a good slogan for me, and I think it's a good life lesson that we just got to do the best of what we can and make today the best we can. Another way of saying that is like, get out the good china, which is, those good cups of tea in the back of the cupboard. Get them out and have a nice cup of tea. Have a good moment, go on the veranda, go for a walk, do nice things in your day, so that it's a real positive part of your day. So they're just some of the key things. My life, I have scans every 4 or 5 months. I'm going unbelievably well. I'm 10 years down the track. To be here to tell this story is a long way from where we thought I was going to be. I'm feeling fit. I'm feeling strong. I've got self-belief. Just like that kid that was growing up, I've still got that strength in me. And I believe that I can create a bit of history, and I can do something special here with this foundation, where we do research, where we have brain cancer care nurses, where we have biobanks that store tumors. We're building this big army to fight brain cancer. So I need to stick around so that we can find the answers, and I can get the benefits of that. And it's just the way my life is now. It probably would have been easier not to do this, but I wouldn't change it, because it's making a difference to a lot of lives, and it's given hope, hope to people. Had a girl in a coffee shop come up to me, start crying last week. She'd been diagnosed. Our nurses had helped her. She was emotional that what we've done for her. So it's really nice to hear that we're making a difference now. So,
Yep.
I think one of the slogans on the back of my first shirts that I got when I played for the Knights was "Whatever it takes," and it's something I've never forgot. And I think it's a good thing to think about that, you know what, we just got to get shit done and we just got to do whatever it takes. And life gets messy, things happen, but we've got to work through that mess and come out the other side. And, you know, nothing's ever perfect. So the cards I've been dealt, I'm comfortable with it now, and I've just got to fight on till we find an answer for brain cancer. So yeah, thanks fellas. Well, that's pretty much my story in a bit of a nutshell. If appreciate you listening, and be happy to, if there's a question or two, to answer.
I like the way you go. That's my life in a nutshell, Mark. But that's been a hell of a life. What age are you? I mean, my God, that's unbelievable. Before the other lads join in, and I'm pretty sure there's got plenty of questions, but I love the fact, amongst a lot of other things, where you have a philanthropic view of things, helping others. And I realize the situation, and it's easy to, you know, use that to help others. But as you said, helping others is actually far more beneficial and equally beneficial for the people doing the helping as it is the people receiving the help. So I'm delighted to see that. And the second thing I'd say is, Slane and I are only too happy to work with, sponsor, whatever it takes you on your journey. And obviously Peter and Louise as well part of us. So we are still very happy to be involved. And I know you're a big fan of Juice Plus. And I wasn't going to mention that, but now that you have mentioned it, I'll just reiterate the fact that we're delighted to look after you and help you. And, you know, if you anywhere we can in the future, you know this, we'll give you a dig out as we get through the thing. So.
No, thank you, Megan. I really believe in the product. I love it. I have it every day, and I will do that because I'm still here and was told I wouldn't be. And so there's things that are working, so I won't be changing anything.
Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
Any of the boys, Kane or Jer or young Vaughan, got a question for young for Mark?
I might jump in first if that's all right. My phone's on the blink. So, firstly, mate, love you, love the charity. I think what you've done's great, and it's cool to see it develop over the years and become all that it has. So, hats off to you there, no pun intended. I got to say as well, mate, I'm assuming you've been working on the shoulders, because we were at Australia Zoo today with the kids. And if there's a fucking brown snake with those shoulders, I'm not going anywhere near it now, mate. So,
thank you.
Might have done it since the debut. Right. Mate, you've obviously had you've had a great career and a great life, but and I'm sure that's how you look at it. But there's obviously been some tough times in there, and I just took your key learnings down. But one of the things I know I'm really bad at is opening up when, to use your words, when the chips are down. I run my own business, and I don't like to come home if I've had a shit day and put that onto the family, because I feel like, you know, the kids have got mum and dad, the wife's got you, and then that's where the buck's. And that might be a bit old school, but that's how I operate. And so I'm assuming there were times, especially around the diagnosis and throughout those times, where you maybe pulled in a bit, or you need, I guess my question is, what do you do to seek help? Because I find as blokes, and that's what these calls are about, is we're not that good at opening up when things are tough, not that talking, and I'm very positive like yourself, so I like to bring solutions, not problems. So have you got any advice there, or anything that got you through, I guess, when shit was tough?
I didn't want to talk about it definitely in front of the kids, but my wife was very strong and supportive, and we talked a lot. I had a couple of key friends that we would talk a lot to about it. I think for me, movement's always a really good thing, like whether it's walking or exercising, you know, to keep your body feeling good. It's like when we played rugby league, we wanted to start the game well, you know, that first 10 minutes we start well. So I like to start the day well. So I do a gym session most mornings, and I know we can't all have time to do that, but I just like to move and feel physically reasonably fit. I think that's a good thing for your headspace. So that's probably a key thing for me, is to move. Yeah, I'm a bloke as well. I don't share everything with people, even though it's quite public, my story, but I'm still quite a deep down a shy, reserved person, naturally. But I guess I've learned because of what situation I'm in. But yeah, I don't like sharing with everyone the deepest sort of feelings, but I'm definitely more well-rounded because I've put those good people around me, and I've accepted. I still have tough times, but I feel pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I agree wholeheartedly on the movement thing. I mean, I know I used to hate running just for running, but I got stuck into it last year and almost found it like a meditative sort of state. Like,
yeah,
two or 3K always suck, but once you're up and into it, and definitely that feeling and that glow afterwards definitely sets the day up. So I think the only other one I had, mate, was I guess it probably leads into discipline, and this is something that probably got pumped into you as a young fella playing sport. And I wrote down here, like, I'm very good at making good big choices. Yeah. So I'll buy a new car. There's 2 years of research, moving into state. It's a plan, and it's like this, but it's the small ones. Like, I make dumb decisions that don't mean much at the time, but they all amalgamate and add up. So
hold on.
There on discipline, it might have been something that came from your footy or anything there, but have you got anything on discipline and because discipline's ugly, like doing the boring shit every day, it's not glamorous, but have you got any advice on that?
I always like to say to people, your true self is how you behave and act when no one's watching. What are your decisions like when no one's around? And I just try and be level and breathe and work through things. I'm not rational and make these quick on the spot decisions. I feel like my decisions are pretty measured, and I treat them seriously as I can, because I do know that all these, like you said, all these little choices and decisions do add up to big things. And if you're continually making all these poor little choices, it will affect your well-being. Yep. So I think it's just breathe your way through things, think before you act, and know that these little decisions make a big difference. A little decision of having a walk of a morning can really shape your day better than laying around and having Cocoa Pops.
Yeah.
Couldn't agree.
I do like that. I think the wording he used, Mark, was control your thoughts, and in your situation, clearly that's important. But of course, when you expand those two words out, it's again, as Ken and Mark have said, it is those small decisions. Just be able to catch yourself in that moment and just get yourself by the neck and say, look, is this going to be great, or I'm going to end like an arsehole again? So, I mean, there's a lot of those moments, and they happen daily, hourly, whatever it might be, So you just need to be conscious of that. So, good question. Young Vaughan or Jerry. Evening, Leon. How are you, pal? You going well?
Yeah, good. Thanks, mate. Just got back from a bit of a Karanjini National Park, Western Australia.
Ooh, very nice. Well done.
Just got back from a nice hike. Beautiful gorges here, just
beautiful.
Breathtaking. So,
wow.
Well done. Glad I made it.
Yeah. Mark, we have a number of guys like Leon and Greg Wynn, a few of the boys who are trekking around the country, and they pop in where they can, where reception allows them to jump on.
Right.
And,
that's making today count. That's for sure.
100%. 100%. I'm very jealous that I'm 60 and I'm not doing that. I should have done it 30 years ago. But anyway, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Oh, that's good, man.
I just, as anybody else got a question, I'm just quickly flicking through some of these. Kane made a mention of discipline. What sort of routine or regime have you stuck at? You clearly stuck at something for the last 10, 12 years. Has that been challenging at times to stick at that regime with some of those, small incremental steps lurching forward day by day by day?
So sorry, the questions, have I had trouble sticking to my routine?
As in, you would have had a lot. You have to be disciplined to do what you need to do. What's that been like on you?
Yeah, I think you gain strength from when you start doing stuff, it becomes a habit. So I would do training, 4 to 5, 6 times a week now, and it's routine, and I've just got to do it as part of my fight, really.
Yeah,
It's part of my toolkit that I need to continue on with life. And I think if you can lock down, it might just be a goal of Monday and Friday, or just lock down a couple of to start with, and just make those days as movement and exercise. And I think you'll see the benefit. You'll feel the benefit of that.
Yeah. You're not part of that lunatic group that the chief is involved in at Merriweather Beach area.
Yeah, so I do some of that. Yeah.
Mad, absolutely off their head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, it's about it all. I just wanted to say thanks heaps. Did you play with Crossy at the Knights, or was he slightly after you?
He was slightly after me. Yeah, big fan.
I just finished up a job for him, mate. He's one of the best humans I've ever met. Yeah, ripper. So.
Yeah. So was he just finished his role?
He's out at Ipswich Jets doing development stuff out there. He's got a place in Brizzy, so I've just done a bit of work from there. But yeah, he's one hell of a human. So
yeah, great fella.
Really appreciate your time, mate. Go Queensland.
Oh, yeah.
And, really.
Mate, it'll be hard. It'll be hard. Should be a good game.
Yeah, it'll be good watching, mate. So thank you, mate, and all the best.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
See you, Kane. See you in a week or two. Okay. Well, Mark, that was outstanding, and there may be some other questions there, but I'm just going to wrap it on for a minute here. I mean, that was gold all the way through, and as I said, you are a genuine inspiration in Newcastle. I know that. I've only been here 8 years, and it hasn't taken me long to figure out that what you're doing, what you're going through, what you've gone through, and where you hope to get is well supported up here, and rightly so. We have some mutual friends that that have gone on some of these lunatic walks up to wherever a base camp somewhere. They're riding around Vietnam or something this year. All a bunch of head cases. But you're very well supported and very well loved in the region, and you do a wonderful job in promoting what I'm sure is a very challenging situation to be in. But you carry it well, you carry yourself well, and I love the fact that you are looking to find a way for other people on the planet to find solutions for their situation that they might be in. So to you, to Kiralee, to your wife and your family, and everybody involved in the MHF, great job, really good job. And anytime you're in the area, of course, you're always welcome to pop into the office or out to the warehouse, and we'll always look after you.
I'll do that, mate. And I appreciate you back us all the time. You back me personally, you and Celine. So yeah, couldn't wait to come and say good day to the boys. So if you guys got one thing out of it, I'm happy.
Oh, there'll be plenty now. And in fact, we don't normally do these things, but I'm actually going to share this video in the same group that the lads are in, so they can get and they can have a look at it and I'll see the recording and won't see what they missed, and genuinely get inspired by some of the commentary on the way through. So delighted to have you on. Thanks for jumping on. Vaughan, Jer, Leon, and young Kane, thanks for jumping on, fellas. Appreciate that. And we will pop it into the group and people can watch at their leisure. But I think as a human being, young Mark Hughes ticks all the boxes, did a great job.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much, mate.
Thanks for your time, guys.
Super call, boys. Thanks a million.
No, I appreciate it.
All right. Good luck to you, Mark. Mind yourself, pal. And the other boys, we'll talk to you in a week or two, and we'll roll on to the next month and see what else we can get on and have a chat.
Fantastic.
Excellent.
Brilliant. Boys, mind yourselves. Take care. Mark, thanks very much again. Appreciate that. I'm just going to hit the stop recording button.
Thanks, guys.